bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that a series of dramatic developments are about to happen, revolving around a serious emergency involving Carter. This plot not only surprises the audience, but also pushes the characters into emotional situations. The story begins when Finn receives an urgent notice about a critical case that has just been brought to the hospital. Carter, who always appears strong and courageous, is now in a life-threatening condition. Finn immediately goes to the emergency room to receive the case, but what shocks him the most is the presence of Hope. She appears with a pained expression, tears falling non-stop. Finn tries to ask what happened, but Hope just shakes her head in despair and bursts into tears. Without letting any more time pass, Finn quickly enters the operating room. The scene before his eyes makes him stunned. Carter lies motionless on the operating table with many serious injuries. His body was covered in bruises and scratches, but the most worrying thing was the severe head injury. Carter's arms and legs also appeared to be broken, making the situation even more critical. Finn understood that Carter's life was in danger every second, and he was forced to act quickly. During the surgery, Finn focused intensely on treating the wound. One of the most urgent tasks was to remove the blood clot in Carter's brain, which was causing severe pressure on the brain. However, during the procedure, an unforeseen incident occurred. Carter suddenly had a violent seizure. Finn and the medical team immediately tried to stabilize his condition, but things got worse when Carter showed signs of an overdose of painkillers. Despite their best efforts, Finn was still unable to save Carter from death. After many tense hours in the operating room, Finn walked out with a gloomy expression. He looked at Hope, who was waiting in panic, and announced that Carter had passed away. The news was a huge blow to Hope. She cried out in pain before fainting in Finn's arms. This scene not only made Finn heartbroken, but also left him deeply haunted. Carter's death was a huge shock not only to Hope, but also to everyone who loved him. But the biggest question still remains: what really happened to Carter? Was this accident simply an accident, or was there some secret hidden? Was there someone behind this heartbreaking incident? Returning to the events before Carter's death, the relationship between him and Hope had entered a tense phase. After finishing a day of work, Carter and Hope left the company together. In the car, the two entered a fateful conversation. In an effort to regain balance for her family, Hope asked Carter to return control of the Forrester Company to Ridge and Steffi. Although she initially wanted to take revenge on Ridge and Steffi for power, seeing the trouble this caused her mother made her unable to continue. Hope realized that the tension between Brooke and Ridge was pushing them to the brink of breaking up, and she did not want to be the cause of her mother's broken relationship. However, for Carter, this request was more than just a business matter. He feared that if he returned control to Ridge and Steffi, his position at the company would no longer be secure. Carter knew that he had caused a lot of tension and could be fired after everything was over. His anxiety and feeling threatened caused him to refuse Hope's request, despite her attempts to convince him. The argument between them gradually escalated, not only about work but also about the personal feelings hidden inside both of them. In the car, when the tension reached its peak, Carter lost focus on driving. This carelessness led to a serious mistake. The car lost control and crashed head-on into an oncoming vehicle at high speed. The strong collision left both of them in a critical condition. In that chaotic moment, Carter, with his protective instinct, hugged Hope tightly to shield her. His brave action saved Hope from death, but it also caused him to take most of the impact. Carter was seriously injured, with many fatal injuries. Meanwhile, Hope was in shock, but still luckily survived. Carter's last image was him trying to hold her tight, as a promise that he would protect her until his last breath. This heroic act left a deep mark on Hope's heart, but also pushed her into inconsolable pain. She not only had to deal with the trauma of the accident, but also the loss of someone she loved. Carter's death is not only a personal tragedy, but also a catalyst for the next developments in the story. Hope will have to deal with the guilt and grief of losing her protector. At the same time, questions about the real reason for this accident and its impact on the Forrester family are still left unanswered. Will Carter's departure lead to any changes in the relationships between Ridge, Steffi, and Hope? The upcoming episodes are sure to be dramatic and emotional, keeping the audience glued to the screen.